Imagine being crowned king before you even learn to walk. A golden throne, a heavy crown, and a kingdom you couldn't even spell. Across centuries, empires have trusted children with crowns, not because they were wise, but because they were easy to control. They called it divine destiny, but in truth, it was manipulation wrapped in ritual. From the baby kings of Europe to the child emperors of Asia to the young pharaohs of Egypt, these were rulers who never chose to rule. Behind every innocent smile stood a council of puppeteers, priests, generals, and politicians whispering orders into tiny ears. Their every step was watched, their every decision guided. The rituals were grand, the candles, the oaths, the blessings, but they weren't meant for the child. They were meant to keep the adults in power. In temples and palaces, these children were treated like gods, yet lived like prisoners. Some, like King Tutankhamun, tried to break free and paid the price with their lives. Others, like King Xi of China, grew wise enough to outsmart their keepers and reclaim their thrones. But most never escaped. They became symbols, beautiful, fragile, tragic. And when they grew old enough to understand the game, the crown no longer fit. Because the truth is, in this secret society, power was inherited, but innocence was always the first to die. Maybe that's the real tragedy of monarchy. Not the wars, not the politics, but the stolen childhoods hidden beneath the crowns. The world remembers them as kings, but history remembers them differently, as children who never had the chance to grow up. Centuries have passed. The palaces have turned to museums, and the portraits of child kings now hang behind glass, their painted eyes forever young, forever trapped in the moment they were crowned. Their names are taught in history books, but their pain is written between the lines. For every golden cradle in the palace, there was a cage. For every prayer whispered for divine wisdom, a childhood was taken in silence. Some say these child rulers were chosen by fate, but maybe they were chosen by fear. Fear of the powerful losing control, fear of letting the crown fall into adult hands that could fight back. And so the world kept crowning children, because innocence is easier to command than ambition. But here's the haunting truth. Those little kings changed history in ways they never understood. Their signatures started wars, their decrees shaped nations, and their deaths inspired legends. They may have been puppets, but even puppets can move the world when history pulls the right strings. So when you see a royal crown glittering in a museum, look closer. Behind that shine lies a story of lost innocence, of whispered promises, and of tiny hands forced to carry the weight of empires. Because in the end, the crown remembers every child who ever wore it, and their ghosts still linger in marble halls, in broken thrones, and in the silence of history itself. The empires are gone now. The palaces stand quiet, their marble floors cold beneath the footsteps of tourists. But if you listen closely, you can still hear it, the faint echo of a lullaby once sung to a king who was still a child. Time buried their kingdoms, yet the questions they left behind still haunt us. Why do we keep giving crowns to the unready? Why does power always hunger for innocence to shape, to mold, to break? From royal courts to modern parliaments, the same story repeats. New faces, new flags, but the same invisible hands pulling the same ancient strings. The child kings are gone, but their shadows linger. In the faces of young leaders pushed too soon. In every promise made before wisdom had a chance to grow. Their thrones have turned to symbols, their names to myths, but the pain beneath the gold, that never fades. Because power never dies, it only changes its disguise. And maybe that's the cruelest truth of all, that somewhere, even now, another child is being told that they were born to rule. The crowns have changed shape. They're no longer made of gold, but of fame, politics, and the digital glare of a billion eyes. Today's child kings don't sit on thrones. They sit on stages, on screens, on social media feeds. Idolized, commercialized, and crowned not by blood, but by attention. Royalty isn't just born anymore.